Please put your hands together for Adam.
Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Adam Foxton, our Solutions Architect for our EMEA region here at Movable. Some of you may have attended last year where I spoke about how to create the ideal communication by linking together your marketing ecosystem. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you've all taken my advice, linked together your disparate data sources and you're all in the spot ready for the next challenge, right? This year, I've been lucky enough to be bumped up the agenda from the slot just before lunch, thankfully, to when you've all had a little break and some food. So if you're feeling refreshed, let's explore more. In our digital age where algorithms and automation seem to rule the marketing galaxy, let's take a moment to reflect on something truly essential. Let's begin with a topic and a question that realistically makes it worthwhile us being here today: authentic and personalized visual experiences. What's so significant about authentic and personalized visual experiences? As we delve into the fascinating aspect of our modern world, the intricate connection between consumer behavior and learning, whilst this is not going to be a psychology lecture, there's elements of understanding mediums to our world that we currently exist in that have a strong basis in that world of behavior. In our rapidly evolving landscape, where technology is reshaping industries and societies, understanding consumer behavior has never been more crucial. Allow me to propose a perspective that might resonate. Consumer behavior is, in essence, a form of learning. We all know how to learn, right? Or do we? Is it something that just happens? Maybe we'll find that learning isn't something that we all do consciously. Think about it. We as humans engage with products, services, brands, not merely as transactions, but as experiences that teach us about the world around us. From the moment we interact with a product on a website, step into a brick-and-mortar store, or even hear about a new offering through word of mouth, we're learning. We're learning about the value it brings, the problem it solves, and the emotion it evokes. This process mirrors learning in its truest sense. Just as we absorb knowledge in our classrooms and workplaces, we gather insights from interactions with the market. We adapt our preferences, behaviors, and decisions based on these experiences. It's a dynamic cycle of observation, absorption, and adjustment that fuels our choices. Now, thinking as marketing professionals, recognizing this link between consumer behavior and learning represents us with a world of opportunities. We can create more meaningful experiences for our customers by designing interactions that facilitate this learning process. Personalized recommendations, user-centric interfaces, seamless omni-channel journeys all contribute to enhancing this learning journey. Businesses can leverage data analytics to decipher insights hidden within consumer actions. Understanding patterns and trends, we can anticipate shifts in behavior and adapt our strategies accordingly. It doesn't only enhance our marketing positioning, but also build stronger relationships with our customers. Let's embrace this new perspective as we navigate the ever-changing landscape of consumer dynamics and work towards creating experiences that inspire, educate, and resonate. 65% of people in this room and outside of it are visual learners. And the other 35%, they still learn visually, but it might just not be their primary method of learning. Visual learning is not just about aesthetics, it's about engagement and understanding. When we incorporate visuals into our communication, we tap into the brain's natural ability to process and retain visual information. And now, rightly or wrongly, it's been proven time and time again that unless something makes you feel a certain way, it's likely not to be committed to any kind of long-term memory. Each day, when we sleep and our brains reset, it's sifting through important and unimportant information. Now, from birth, we're conditioned to learn from our visual environment. Now, I spent the last 9 months teaching my new daughter about the world, and I can tell you nothing I've told her has stayed in her consciousness. It's all about what she's seen. Now, the first language we learn to process is the visual language of imagery. What grabs our attention? What doesn't keep our attention? They're all learned behaviored. Quite simply, visual experiences build authentic connections. Without these connections, there's no reason to engage with the brand. They're just a notification in our inbox, a distraction from the connections we're building around us. Last year at Think Summit, I spoke about how we can all be part of a digital revolution in marketing, and that's using data for the right purposes. Hey, first name, do you want to buy an ice cream? Is not going to cut it this winter. Customers are interacting with brands each and every second, and even more are being left disappointed this connection is not being reciprocated. There's a new player in this revolution, AI. Does that mean the next move is out of our hands? Are all brands now automatically on a level playing field? I don't think so. Let's talk about why visual is the right medium to make an impact. First and foremost, the human brain is wired to process visual information. We've said that. 65% of the population are visual learners. And, understanding visual representations is really important to my role as a solutions architect. Translating intricate technical details into clear solutions is what I do every day. And the best way of doing it? Visual. Visual experiences also transcend language barriers and technical jargon. A well-crafted diagram or infographic can convey complex concepts to a diverse audience. We've all been in that meeting. Let me tell you, there are heads that drop, people that grab the nearest fruit pastel. I've been there. Let them show you. Let me show you. Invite you into your vision. Let them experience it. Let them see your creativity. Why is that interesting? Have you ever paid attention to the small print at the bottom of an email or at the bottom of a website? Is it often creative? A picture speaks 1,000 words. What about a diagram? Sometimes people need to visually see something rather than reading those 1,000 words to get it. And when they do have that clarity, it's easier to see the picture in front of them. An image can be interpreted any way that the consumer wants to. This process takes milliseconds to happen, but can then be committed to long-term memory. And then comes the final and important part. Now, I'm not saying that we'll ever get this close in visual experiences through AI to generate this, but we do have one thing that computers don't, and that's emotions. This picture probably doesn't trigger anything for most people in this room, other than that's a nice spot. Now, this castle on a hill, it's not Ed Sheeran's one. It's in Clan Steffan in Carmarthenshire. It's where I found out I got my first big job by email. It's where I proposed to my wife. It's where I took my daughter on her first holiday. Emotional connection to an image matters. Now, we've explored why visual is the right medium for this revolution. Let's chat about working with our machine friends. Think about this as a mediation session, though. There'll be no AI going to take my job chat here today. 90% of the images inside this were created by Adobe Firefly. Before Carl Benz developed the first car, I imagine not many people were looking at how inefficient horse and cart transport was. Before the Wright brothers created the first aeroplane, there might have been a few fascinated with flight as a medium for transport, but not many. Most people thought they were crazy. And before Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, people had to send letters, or worse, leave their house and talk to one another. I guess that most of us in this room today couldn't imagine life without cars or phones for transportation and communication. All the same arguments probably happened then around machines taking over the world. So let's look to the sky once more together as we explore life through the lens of my friends, the bees. Last year at Think Summit, they helped me explain what goes on behind a hive when Movable makes calls to an API. But today, I'm just going to see what matters to them. Here are all the stats on honey production we've got in the last 2 years. Great, love the info. What do I do with that? Let's create honeycomb segments. I love segments. This is marketers at the moment. Hey, anyone see that massive thing in the sky? Oh, who's this fella? I am super bee wasp butterfly. You will segment me no longer. That's our customers. Now find me a perfect hive. I can't build trillions of variations of content to jump around in. I just want honey to make in this one. Okay, this is our digital producers. I've been there. I understand. I'm with you. Hey, what's that big thing in the sky? They're all looking at it. We've got results to deliver if only something could help us. Now, whilst we're not listening to bees having this conversation, this is stuff that we're hearing in our businesses every single day. They know what they need to deliver. They don't know how to get there. Who's this guy, though? He seems like he's got his finger on the button. I just investigated this glowing thing in the sky, and it's literally got scores against each bit of honey that we've created and create a perfect hive for each individual bee that's perfect. I mean, it sounds like it solves the bees' problem. Now, this thing in the sky, it's already here. It's DaVinci by Movable Ink. It's not made for bees. It's not located in a black hole in the future. It's available now, and it's already delivering personalization using AI. Now, later on in our product keynote, we'll showcase DaVinci in action. But for now, I'm going to let you into some secrets behind the DaVinci AI. Let's start with our base layer. That's automation. It's not the fun one. It's not the one that enters the room in the exciting floral shirt and says, hey, let's party. It is the one that sets up the party as the environment to have fun in. For those that don't love setting up pages and pages of campaign variations or building thousands of templates week after week, month after month. Before we choose the best creative to show people, we're learning from a group chosen from that send to see how they respond to this new creative that you've uploaded into your library. We call this preview learning. During this part of the send, we're taking a few more risks. widening the targeting net, so to speak. But this information that tells us about your creative and how different individuals respond to this in terms of clicks and ultimately conversions is invaluable to consistently delivering results in your platform. Let's take a look together at some creatives from our DaVinci client Gap. They've provided a baby creative, women's-led creative, men's-focused creative, denim collection of family creative. Cool, seems like they've got everything covered. This is what a usual segment practice marketer would see, right? Then the baby creative goes to anyone who shop baby clothes, the women's and men's creative based on gender flags, and then we've got the denim collection to the highest spenders, and then we've got the creative for the family to everyone else because we can't decide. We seem like we covered off all our segments, though. We could send these creatives out through our preview send, smaller audiences, and experiment, and I'd expect all of us to be wrong in our initial segmentation. The learning from this preview send is useful. It's training our model on what works for who, but there's an element of the DaVinci model that we're rolling out as we speak, and that's the vision model. This is when DaVinci views those creatives that you sync to your creative library and understands what is being shown before it's even been sent. This isn't Minority Report, it's just marketing. We've talked about human perception can process a lot of information from an image. But imagine the level of depth a computer model can add that we simply couldn't process. Let's reevaluate those creatives in a way that our vision model might. The baby category image, we've got clouds on a flat background, striped hoodie and leggings, not looking at the camera. The woman sitting on an orange chair, again, striped clothing with a hat, denim jeans. The men's image, black and white, the model looking away from the camera. There's a couple in the denim image, that's important, both looking directly at the camera. Their expressions are neutral. And then finally, there's a smiling family, a checked shirt, hoodie, denim jackets, a dress and a checked shirt. They're all products, that's all important facets to that image. These are all tags that could be stored against the creative. You could do this manually, but DaVinci will be storing hundreds more than we could even imagine. Allowing the next time that we see a black and white image, for instance, see if this performs similarly. Is there trends that certain customers perform better with certain types of content? And our prediction model analyzes these behaviors, preferences, campaign data to predict and automate messages end-to-end, applying the ideal messaging frequency to each customer, selecting the creative, specifying send time, maximizing engagement for those individuals. DaVinci will go away, score each eligible creative alongside your targeted customers for that campaign and deliver an email that is the best content they can receive at the right time. We've heard it a million times before, but this is delivering it using our prediction model. And our generation model leverages GPT, natural language, to help marketers create and scale subject lines to align with that existing content, increasing the likelihood of customers even opening that content and seeing what you've created. Use subject lines that aren't clickbait, but understand motivation, intent, and the tone that best resonates with each individual customer. We understand letting a model take care of decisioning can be scary. We get there's some things you wouldn't want to appear next to one another in the same communication. Maybe that's baby clothes and beachwear. Maybe that's televisions and toasters. Maybe it's a holiday in Melbourne versus a holiday in Margate. They're very different things, and we appreciate that. And we've got business rules to cater for those use cases. We don't take over the decisioning, but those rules are taken into account when the model suggests matching content. Finally, Insights model identifies the individual product discovery path, builds a unique profile for each customer based upon their short and long-term goals, providing the right mix of promotional and editorial content. Now, that's a lot of big words I've gone through explaining all of our models in DaVinci. Algorithms, rules, preview learning, automation. But this is all just setting the scene for what's bubbling under the surface. What our models are working on, what your customers will appreciate, and what you pay for. The magic of personalization. Taking into account all of these elements and literally building a communication for each individual. It's what we've been crying out for years. The next section is about creating a connection between a piece of creative work and your end user. Difficulty of this part is coming to the realization that not everything that you create will resonate with everyone you're trying to reach. And sometimes no form of data personalization, no magic answer will get us there. Make something that pops. We've all also been in that meeting where someone says that phrase to us. Now, what they actually mean is, can you make something that looks visually appealing? Maybe. But after what we've seen about how people learn, is there another way that we're not already connecting with our consumers? Are we not engaging? It has to be. There's a reason 80% of people in this room, the next word that enters your head is the brand name Heinz. They've been masterfully linking creative with real-life experiences for over 100 years. Now, I'm not suggesting that we're overnight going to change our approach to marketing and think that long term in the future. But it does represent the importance of visuals. This time, there's no slogans used on these images, but they still get across exactly what they're meant to. Adidas is trying to reposition themselves from a sports brand to a lifestyle brand. In my opinion, they've done it. Relaxation, outdoors, functional, stylish. These are all things that a computer model could output for us and store as tags. But the choice to go down that route, to make that creative, that's human. For now. And here's my personal favourite of the visual experiences. I've had my fill of nights out. A few in this large room will attest to that fact, sadly. But for me, those days are a little less frequent now. And a lot of other brands will still be clinging to the historical fear of missing out, socially motivated creative of the fun night out. Heineken have recognised another group. At no point in the wording do they reference gamers, so they're not limiting themselves to just the scenario shown, but they're repositioning themselves as not just something you'd see in a hospitality venue of your choice, but your own home. The emotional response to this creative, maybe just for me, probably a lot of other people in this room, triggered. That's authenticity. Authenticity is not a term we hear thrown about in marketing a hell of a lot. When it comes to effectiveness, at least. It's more known as a case of speaking, it's a legal term related to copyright infringement. But let's take the time to reframe that together. If you're making creative that doesn't resonate with anybody, it doesn't matter how many machines you've got firing that into the ether for people to consume, it won't land. And the time spent to make that creative, wasted. So let's come back to our original question. Today, and at a plethora of other marketing conferences you're sure to attend, there's going to be an element of discussion of AI. Just as when stable owners met to discuss the impact of machines, now known as cars, and the Postal Service met to discuss telephone communication, but always remember that these technologies have, in the most part, enhanced our lives. And that's through the collaboration between human and machine, not the war that was depicted in multiple films. Now, as we draw today's exploration to a close, I'd like to encourage you, from a marketing perspective, if nothing else, to support the creation of content that embraces these values. Personalised, 100%, it's what Movable Inc. stand for, but authentic at its core. Otherwise, your personalisation efforts, or those taken by decision-making engines such as Da Vinci, it'll still deliver flatter results than you're expecting. Most importantly, I hope that you find creating emotion, authentic experiences, it's more fulfilling for you to create as marketers. Thank you so much for your time here today. I've been Adam Farquharson. I look forward to speaking to you again very soon.